Some of the autistic traits I had as a child were not liking change. I've got an amazing memory. I didn't use eye contact. I was very repetitive. These have followed me into adulthood, along with further traits which I never knew were autism related. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents growing up and loved to be outside when the weather was good. Age 6, I joined St John's Ambulance, and this became a hobby I would love. I had 2 rabbits growing up called Hoppity and Smudge. I loved them so much and spent many hours sitting with them, talking to them about my problems and about how my day had gone. They never answered me back. They didn't judge, and it was a good outlet. I trusted them so much. I had an amazing relationship with my parents and sister, in fact the whole family. I don't feel they treated me any different, but they knew I did not like change, so they helped me to manage this in subtle ways. Growing up, I envied my sister, mainly because she is the older sibling, but I also struggled to understand why she had so many friends and found things so easy. But she really helped me out in more ways than I could ever understand. This made me feel safe when I felt so out of my depth and allowed me to have some social time. My parents queried autism when I was in junior school, along with the learning support team, but this was dropped by the local authority as they felt I was not autistic. At primary school, I managed to get by with the help of the teachers, and I eventually had a small group of friends, but I remember feeling as if they were only friends because they had been told to be nice to me. I moved into secondary education in September 2006, and this is when the cracks started to appear. I realised I had no friends, and the bullying started. It was horrendous, and I couldn't get away from it. When I was 13, I was admitted into a CAMHS inpatient unit, following a breakdown from the ongoing bullying. I had another breakdown and was admitted to a further inpatient unit, where I received a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. I had a major breakdown due to a diagnosis of Crohn's disease. I needed an operation to help my bowels, and my self-harm got worse. I was admitted to my first adult inpatient unit. Whilst at this unit, I was sectioned and diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. This diagnosis then overshadowed my autism, and I spent years in different units across the country trying to get better and get out of hospital. In October 2018, I moved to an autism specialist unit in the northeast. This was a life changer. I learned so much about my autism here, something which I never had the experience of doing in the past. I stopped trying on different versions of myself and accepted my autism. I learned all about sensory overload, and this is where my self-harm stemmed from. I know different strategies to use, such as white noise and lava lamps, and my self-harm has massively reduced. I am now living in my own house in the community with support. I am attending college to study my level 2 in catering, and I work as an expert by experience to strive for better care for autistics and mental health. The strategies I have learned I have in place now with continuing support are what enables me to thrive as an autistic woman. I feel autistic females are able to mask autism so well because of what society expects from us, and this can have extremely damaging effects to our well-being. I know that many autistic females have a later diagnosis. Often they are an adult, and this makes me feel so sad to think there are possibly so many females out there struggling who don't know that they are autistic or they cannot get a formal diagnosis, to think that they are continually masking, which has profound effects on their mental health and their own identity, is devastating. Ask for help, give yourself space, allow yourself to be autistic. If people cannot accept you, well, that's their problem, not yours. You have the right, just like everyone in the world, to be you and live your life to the full. Seek help if you need it. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed.